This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Minister of Education Jerome Fitzgerald, doing his tour of several schools throughout the capital, revealed that the ministry spent some $5.2 million on renovations to schools in the country.
Now, Minister Fitzgerald told reporters on the first day of the school year that he mobilized teams to ensure things went well on the ground. He explained that they are paving parts of the school pavement at St. Bede's Catholic School due to weather conditions, which caused the school to be temporarily located at a school on Kemp Road.
There's a preschool that was operating on Kemp Road, and we've agreed to lease that out for 3 months until December to allow the work there to finish, and in January we'll move the kids into the new premises. But we were able to accommodate them. The parents were very understanding. We had the teachers already in place, of course, and so it was very little work we had to do. So over the last week or two we did the minor work that had to be done there, and it was ready to move into, and so we're happy with that, so it wasn't any real issue.
Deputy Commander of the Police Traffic Unit, ASP Craig Stubbs, spoke with ZNS News during the height of traffic during the back-to-school morning. He said traffic moved smoothly from all directions, and for the most part, he said, there was law and order on the streets. Stubbs said there were a few gridlocks in the eastern area. He added that as more students began returning to school this week, motorists and pedestrians must exercise caution on the roads. Between public and private schools, some 75,000 to 80,000 students will return to the classroom this week.
Today, public schools held orientations and placement exams for their first set of students. By Thursday, all public school students are expected to be in the classroom.
Cyan Thompson visited several areas and reports on the first day of school.
It's the first day of back to school, and our first stop is R.M. Bailey Senior High School, where we spoke with Principal Colin Johnson.
We're not going to change our strategy in terms of what we implement to bring about that good discipline.
Tighten the belt. My back pocket. Tighten it for you.
So we don't tolerate anything else here at this institution.
Just like other schools, R.M. Bailey had security checks. Meantime, students we spoke to say they had first day jitters.
Nervous, excited at the same time. I'm hoping to do better in education, stuff like that, Try to work hard this year because, impress, parents.
I'm a bit nervous. It's just my first time being here because my dad used to go to the school and he wanted me to come here for the first time.
It feels great to be back to school.
Officials at C.I. Gibson and T.A. Thompson say discipline is a priority. The principals say they also have set new goals this term, hoping to push students to get better grades.
Our children, they know how to behave. You just have to continually be on them and be visible for them to see you.
The things we have decided to put in place, some intervention programs in the afternoons, extra classes. We are trying to get with COB to get some volunteers to help our students with tutoring.
Alongside school policing, educators believe that discipline will be paramount in order to have a successful academic school year. For the ZNS News Network, I'm Cyan Thompson.
The first official day of school got off to a great start for students in the Northwestern District, particularly at St. John's College and H.O. Nash Junior High School.
Principals at both schools telling ZNS News that there's been an increase in first-time students and also talked about their plans to improve academic standards at those schools.
LaDawn Davis continues our back-to-school team coverage.
Students from St. John's College say although it's their second week of classes, they are excited to return back to the classroom.
I see myself going into the public health sector, and I see that I have to focus on biology, chemistry, physics, my sciences this year.
I want to improve on my grades, my behavior, and my goal is probably to get a scholarship for college.
And we've already been given work and projects, so it's no different than how we've been in school for the whole summer. We just flow right back into things.
I did tremendously well in my BJCs. I received the scholarship last week, and they're going to pay half of my school fee till I graduate.
Last year, the results of the BJC and BGCSE examinations were quite impressive, and some parents say more parental involvement is key to improving the overall academic standard.
I expect this year that both of my sons will do extremely well. My son has been placed as team captain on the basketball team, and we had a talk with him indicating that in order for him to succeed in the job world, he must do well.
I just expect good things. I expect the teachers and the students and the parents to work together in harmony.
Now, despite the St. John's College graduation saga, Principal Antoinette Storr says there's been an increase in the student population.
We are holding the numbers that we have had in the past. In fact, we're having more persons calling to get in. We want this year, we're aiming for that B average.
A similar story echoed for faculty and staff at the H.O. Nash Junior High School. Principal Cheryl Samuel says so far the school has welcomed hundreds of first-time students.
We intend to welcome about 300 children into our new school year, 7th graders. The majority of them are coming from our feeder schools and about 70 children coming from elsewhere.
Today is orientation for the 7th graders, and we're introducing them to our school's policies, our mission, our vision, and we also allow them to choose their option classes.
But in the end, it seems that the new academic school term in the Northwestern District is off to a great start. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
Principals in the southwestern section of the island say they are often challenged with increasing school populations. That's a theme which remained unchanged during the start of this school year. Jimmy Swain talked with officials from SC McPherson Junior School and Carmichael Primary.
Only a fragment of the student body of the SC McPherson Junior School turned up for classes Monday. Principal Annette Farquharson said all students won't be back until midweek.
We're only expecting our 7th graders to come into school today, and some of our new 8th and 9th graders are expected in today to do their placement exams. Tomorrow we are expecting our 8th and 9th graders returning students, and on Wednesday all grade levels are expected to be in. A vast amount of persons coming from the private schools asking for entrance and registration into SC McPherson, yes.
500 students were expected to enroll in the 7th grade. Mrs. Farquharson said aside from pushing the Sharks to dominate athletically, she has great expectations academically as well.
There is looking at literacy. We need to improve that because, literacy is the foundation of everything else. So we are focusing on improving the reading levels of all of our students from grade 7, 8, and 9.
Ms. Farquharson says she expects the school population to climb to just over 1,200 this academic year. However, for us, the next stop is Carmichael Primary School.
We knew there was a challenge in literacy and numeracy in our math and our language. And so we intend to do everything to use all the strategies that we can to improve on our reading program and to improve literacy as a whole in the school itself.
Mr. Smith said that his first grade is the largest ever with 225 students, while the population overall has increased by nearly 100 students to about 938. And that means other challenges as well.
Particularly with our grade 1s. We have a lot of foreign nationals who are in our classes. And I know as far as the language barrier is concerned, we're going to have a problem there. We have a challenge there.
With language barriers and growing school population, these principals say they will do their best to have an outstanding academic year. Jiminita Swain, ZNS Network News.
Well, coming up in sports, Rick Fox gets ready for camp.
And later in Family Island News, find out how South Andrews goes back to school. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Raw Fidelity Business News. Good Monday evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Global banking company Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank Corporation, also known as HSBC, announced its exit from the international financial services market here in the Bahamas. Now, the company's headquarters is located at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel Center of Commerce on Bay Street here in New Providence. The bank was not a major player in the industry in terms of having a sizable physical presence here, although reports indicate its departure will be a loss for the national business sector. Get ready, Grand Bahama, for the Go Trade Business Expo 2013, all set for this October 26th at the Sir Jack Hayward High School's gymnasium in Freeport. The event will offer potential and current business owners the opportunity to see all the Grand Bahama Island has to offer in a one-stop at the biggest and best business trade expo. Now, organizers encourage companies to showcase their businesses and services at this first expo. But besides that, the event also caters to those with specific talents and skills who may not own or want to own a business. The event will show these individuals how to market themselves and how to professionally present themselves and their work to potential clients or employers. And in international business, Vodafone has sold its 45% stake in Verizon Wireless to U.S. telecoms group Verizon Communications in one of the biggest deals in U.S. corporate history. The $130 billion deal was announced by Vodafone after the close of trading on the London Stock Exchange. Vodafone will also invest money in its business with funds earmarked for high-speed mobile phone networks. And that's your Royal Fidelity Business News this Monday. I'm Altaviz Munnings.